everybody, this is Lisa with Anderson Pens, and today I wanted to show you a couple different reasons why, sorry not sorry, you might need another Hobonichi planner for 2024. There may be certain things that you want to plan or keep track of that you may not necessarily want to include in your normal work-life daily planner. And so a separate Hobonichi, especially the weeks, might be perfect for keeping track of separate things that you want to maybe carry with you or that are important to you but aren't really a daily thing. And so we are going to talk about that. Number one, you might want some kind of a food planner. I know Brian and I share a Google Calendar with our weekly menus, and that way I know when Brian is going to be riding his bike, and so I can put into the calendar what I am making for dinner that night. The Hobonichi Weeks is really great for that. You can have your daily meals that you're planning, and then use the other side, this note side, for your grocery list, which is really great to keep everything together. You also can use these separate notes pages in the back for recipes you want to try, or things that you want to look up, cookbooks, magazines you want to look up, recipes online. But this way you can have your meals, you can have your grocery list. You also can have plenty of space for notes, needs to cook longer, or it was absolutely terrible, never make it again, or loved it, we need to do this every 2 weeks. So that would be something really good. You also could keep track of water intake, but we'll also talk about that in a few minutes with something else. But for menu planning or food planning, this is really great. Another thing is if you're keeping track of fitness. I'm personally trying to lose some weight, so you could certainly keep track of your weight, whether you're trying to lose or gain weight. You could keep track of your daily blood sugar if you are keeping track of that. And not only can you keep track of it in your daily pages, but also here in the monthly spread too, which gives you an overview of, what your weight is on different days, your blood sugar. I have to keep track of my thyroid levels, and so you could keep track of that. You also could plan your workouts. I know Brian rides his bike 4 or 5 times a week, and so he can, keep track of that. If you go to the gym, you could keep track of your workouts. You've got notes over here. Whenever I did go to the gym, I could never remember what the weight was that I was supposed to have on each machine, and so you've got, notes in the back. Your leg machine is this, and your shoulder, your arm press, or I don't even know the right terms, but the different machines. Here are what weights you need to have on each machine. If you are into hiking, and I know a lot of people in Wisconsin are into hiking, you can map out your hikes, especially if you're going to go away and you're going to go away to a hiking place, or we have friends who go up to Door County, and so you might block it off in your monthly view, so it's Door County hiking, and then on those days, put what trail you want, any notes, watch out for bears, don't forget to bring water, whatever you need to do here. Same thing with yoga. You can keep track of pretty much any sport or activity, and this is really a good place. And again, small, compact, easy to take with you. So it's not this big, giant, bulky thing that you're lugging around with you. Another option is if you are into reading. There may be books that you want to read. You may have a goal to read, 50 books a year next year. So you can keep track of, in your monthly view, what book you want to read once a month, every couple weeks, once a week, whatever that is. And then you can flip to the individual week, and you can divide it up into what chapters or how many pages a day, and you can keep track of that. whether it's just a business book or a racy novel, if you're into faith books, your Bible or any other faith book. You also have place in the back for notes, supplemental comments, other things that you want to research, other books that might pique your interest. Another thing that we do here in the store is on Friday, Brian and Dave have a beer. And they keep track of the beers that they have tried, and they keep track of what they liked or disliked about it. I think they even rank them. And I know years ago, more of the staff was involved in that, and there was even whiskey tasting for a while, or wine. And so you certainly can keep track of, whether it's a white wine week or a red wine week, you can keep track of what you tried and then what you liked. I know friends are always happy to give opinions, and so you can always make notes on what other things you should try. I love this wine, or, don't try that one, it's terrible. And so you can make notes on what you maybe want or don't want to try as far as wine, beer, spirits, etc. Another thing that is very big, I know, is plants or gardening. And so the Weeks and the Weeks Mega are great for that. You've got a planting schedule, and so you know that you need to get certain things in the ground by a certain day. Put that in your monthly calendar, and then as far as the weeks are concerned, you can put down what you planted. Here's a list, the space here you can use for a list of seeds you need to buy, or you need 2 more bags of potting soil, or you need to pick up a new tool, or don't forget to get this when it's on sale next week, or anything you want. You also have, all these spaces in the back for sketching out layouts of your garden. My best friend is recently in a new house, and she's super excited about her new space for a new garden, and so you can sketch this out. You've got lots of places to try and retry what you want to do. So that's really a great thing. You can also keep track of progress, what worked, what didn't work. Keep track of your watering schedule. I personally have a black thumb, and I am not good at gardening. I tend to be a feast or famine kind of waterer, so my plants never really did well, but you certainly could keep track of notes about weather or soil conditions, how fast or slow things grew, whether or not it did well in the shade or the sun, anything like that. This is a great place, and again, small, compact, carry with you, keep in a drawer, keep out in your potting shed or whatever, and it's not mixed in with all of your other work to-do lists. Another thing that I wish that I had done back in the day was keep a pregnancy journal or planner. So if you are trying to get pregnant, or if you are pregnant, the Weeks is a great place to keep track of everything that you need to keep track of, and there are a lot of things. Besides your normal appointments for your doctor, you've got your weight, you've got symptoms, you may have questions or concerns, and so if you, especially first-timers, often have more questions. I know when I was pregnant the first time, I called my mom like literally every other day, poor woman. I felt this, or I'm thinking this, and it was always fine, but you can certainly keep track of symptoms or questions, and then you can bring this entire thing with you to the doctor. And again, it's not this big giant planner with, your work to-do lists and car appointments and everything else. Other thing is you can keep track of special appointments. Later on in a pregnancy, you may have to take a glucose test, and so you need to keep track of whether or not you need to fast before an appointment, whether or not to bring anything extra, when your ultrasound might be, or anything like that. And then, again, put it in your weekly schedule. Any questions can go here. if you have concerns or whatever, you keep track of that. And it's all in one place. It's also great that you can just bring it to your doctor and say, okay, I have been gaining weight or I've been losing weight. And then your doctor can help and you'll have exactly what is going on when. Because especially in the beginning, you may only see your doctor once a month. And it's like, I can't remember what was going on or how long ago it was. So this is a great place to keep track of everything. The other side of that is if you are a woman who is maybe a little older and you are in perimenopause or menopause, same thing. You want to keep track of your weight, your symptoms, questions. You want to be able to keep track of days that certain things happened or didn't happen. And this way you have it all in one place that, again, you just take to your doctor and you say, okay, here you go. Walk me through what's good, what's bad, what's normal, what's not. What should I worry about? What should I not? Another thing, number 7 so far, is finances. I know many people keep track of their finances, but you may not necessarily want this together with your to-do list from work. So you can keep track of credit card balances. You could keep track of a monthly no spending challenge. I know a lot of people do that a couple times a year. You could keep track of how much you set aside for savings. And maybe if you've got a goal to save a certain amount of money or to pay down your debt a certain amount over the course of a year, you can break that down and it's, let's say, $100 a week, and you're going to have that taken out of your paycheck on Friday. Maybe write that in so you remember that you're going to have $100 taken out. And then here, if you're on a no spend or you're trying to maybe figure out where the heck all your money goes, keep track of everything that you spend over the course of a day, the course of a week. Make any notes. And so this is a great place to keep track of all of that. Same thing with student loan dates. I know that if you have student loans, they recently restarted, and this may be a new amount for you. It may be a new due date. A lot of things have changed, and so especially in the beginning, you might want to keep track of all that. Number 8, the 8th reason that you might want a separate Hobonichi for a certain thing is home renovation. And I really, really wish that when Brian and I were renovating our home, we had thought to keep a separate planner. Dates for when your contractors are coming to do certain things. Paint colors, we went through some really great, fun paint colors. And again, the spaces, the empty pages in the back are great for this. You see something online or in a magazine, you write down the paint colors, then you go to the store and you look them all up so that you get maybe a sample, you bring it home, swatch it on your wall. Decor ideas, back here in the empty space, this is great if you want to sketch out a layout for different furniture to rearrange in a certain room. I'm a big fan of graph paper and mapping things out before I actually move all the heavy furniture. It saves me a lot of backache. The other thing you probably want to include somewhere in here is contractor notes. Who it is, what the name of their company is, and how to reach them, including emergency numbers. If you've got plumbing that you're having done, you definitely want to know what the after-hours phone number is for the plumber in case there's a problem 2 weeks after they're done. We renovated our house over the course of an entire year, and in the beginning, I was flying up from Florida, and so we would map out what we were doing when, and so this would be redoing drywall, or painting Lindsay's bedroom, or painting Garrett's bedroom, or whatever, and this way you knew exactly what you were doing, and then you could go through and make sure that you've got to prep the walls, you've got to make sure you've got all the supplies, and then if you need anything extra for supplies, you put it on the extra page. Number 9, craft projects. My mom is a big, big quilter. Her whole life and her sister's life right now seems to be quilting. And so she's always trying to keep track of what she's got currently in progress, things that she's considering designs she wants to do later. And so an additional Hobonichi is great for pretty much any kind of craft project, whether it's quilting, knitting, crocheting, cross-stitch, painting, pretty much anything. The back pages are great for designs, projects that you want to look up, layouts that you want to consider, shopping lists, stores that you've read about online that you want to go try, or a different type of yarn or whatever, things to consider. Here you've got, in your weekly space, you might want to break down a big quilt or a big crocheting project into, you want to get 6 inches done or a foot done over the course of a week. And so you're going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're going to spend 1 hour on that. And then any notes. So this is really great for a lot of different craft projects. Number 10, social media information. This is really great if you are any kind of an influencer or if you handle social media for your personal small business. You can keep track of blog posts, notes, dates of things when certain things need to be posted or certain things need to be paid. You can keep track of what you're going to do each day. You could keep track of how many followers you have either each day or each week if you're tracking that. And then you can keep track of what you did and then notes. If it took a lot longer than you thought, if this had really great response, if you had absolute crickets and no response. And so you can really get good feedback on a regular basis as opposed to trying to remember 2 months later how that worked out back in January. So this is really a great place to keep everything together. And again, small, compact. You can tuck it away in a desk drawer. You can keep it with you so you can get ideas when you're waiting in line at the grocery store. You're like, oh, that's a great idea. I got to remember that. Take this out, write it down. You're good to go. And then last, one thing you might want to keep track of separately in a Hobonichi, either the weeks or the weeks mega, which has even more free space in the back. You might want to keep track of your moods or gratitude, something like that has to do with mental or emotional health. And keeping track of this might be really, really good for you mentally, physically, and emotionally. If you track your daily or your weekly moods, you might realize that perhaps you suffer from seasonal affective disorder. And so you discover that you're just really kind of blue in the winter months and you feel great in the summer months. Or it might be hormonal issues during different times of the month. Or it might be after a family visit, or, it could be lots of different things, but it'll help you track how you feel when, and you can see if there are any monthly or weekly or quarterly trends to your mental and emotional health. You also could keep track either in the notes page on the weekly basis or in the back of books you want to read, podcasts you want to listen to, keep track of your supplements or medications that you're taking to see if that's helping or not. You also could keep track of inspiring quotes or books, anything that may help you or anything that you want to try. This is a really great place to keep track of all of that, again, in just one compact place, and it's not mixed in with your work to-dos and your work tasks. So there you have it, 11 different reasons that you might want to try a separate Hobonichi planner for 2024 to keep track of separate projects or activities that you don't necessarily want to mix in with your normal work calendar. And sorry, not sorry, the weeks and the weeks mega really do make a great place to do all of this. And who doesn't love the adorable Hobonichi?